Hello everyone, today is day 8, I think. I'm probably going to slip up. I actually need to write down what these days are because I know I'm going to forget. But yeah, welcome back for today's vlog. I really don't know what I'm going to talk about. I actually recorded, in all transparency, I did record another video, but it was like literally I was all over the place. Like I was even annoying myself because I was like, okay, it's the thing is about these videos is that I'm kind of doing them like impromptu. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, and yet I always find something to talk about. But today I actually have nothing to say. So I did a video. I recorded a video before this one where I was talking about how I posted on Substack, which I haven't done in a while. Side note, I actually am going to put my Substack link in the description if ever any of you are interested into having a little glance and reading it. Trying to find my way on that too. But yeah, today I just didn't know what I was going to talk about. And I was just rambling. I was like, okay, like this is, I'm annoying myself. So let's just take a pause and see what is it that we can possibly talk about. I usually just kind of talk about my daily inspirations, what happens during the day and things like that. And so I was like, okay, well, let's try this again. And I don't know, what can I talk about? What happened today? Well, today something kind of did happen that was pretty much, I would say, magical. So the disclaimer is if you are not into like what you think is woo-woo or things like that, you might not like this video. But I'm going to talk about like kind of like meditation. And that's actually, I'm going to talk about meditation because meditation is a very big part of who I am right now and who I've become. And so yeah, just kind of want to talk about what I went through and why I highly recommend meditation for everyone. And so, where do I start? So today, it's an okay day. That I did go ahead and work out. I haven't worked out in like 3 weeks, so I kind of had to force myself to get back into the motion of doing it. So I went to the gym, stayed 20 minutes on the elliptical, not too long, nothing too crazy, but I did it. So that's all that counts. And then I came home. And so just every now and then I have these bouts where I just love to go back and listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza. So I talked about him in one of my other videos. If you don't know any of his work, I could probably link it in the description too. Link his YouTube page, but oh my God, it's pretty cool. He has like, again, I'm trying to find the perfect light because the sun is behind me. Anyway, he does a lot of meditation. He does a lot of, well, he teaches meditation. He teaches breath work. He teaches nervous system regulation and a lot of manifestation to finally get the life that you want. And I've known about him for years now through my mom, who, funny enough, when she was kind of teaching, well, she was learning all of this stuff herself. And I remember back then, me and my husband, we were kind of like make fun of her, like saying she's woo-woo. She's just too out there. Like, I love my mom, but I'm like, she is out there. And the older I get, the more I'm actually like her. So I guess I'm out there too. And but the thing is, for the right reasons. I mean, thank you, Mom, for sharing and opening my life to this. So it all started off with she taught us visualization, how to visualize, how to manifest. And so eventually that just kind of led me on my own path of learning how to visualize. And I learned that actually at a very, very young age. So I grew up in France because my father played pro basketball. So he had a very long, plus 20-year career. But I grew up in France. And so I ran track. And the main thing that I wanted to do was, like, I started off, I was weak. I knew I was fast, but I wasn't like national level fast. And so I was like, well, I don't know what else I can do other than practice. So my mom, she was always an advocate for visualization. And then I didn't even know how important to visualize, how important it was to do that as an athlete. And actually through life. But, I was like 16 years old then. And so I was like, you know what? Every night, she actually had taught me a technique when I think about it. The technique was that she had learned was like when you go to sleep, before you go to sleep, you just relax your whole body. And let me see, how was it? How'd it go? You relax your body, and then you tense up your whole body. Like you just like tense it up so much for, I don't know, a few seconds. Then after you release it, and then after that, you did that a few times, maybe like 3 times. And then after once you did it, your body would be completely relaxed. And so I would do that. And I would, goodness, my arm is hurting. I would do that. And then after, what I would do is, once I was relaxed, I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry, just kind of like visualize the way that I wanted my races to go. And there was one particular girl that, oh my gosh, she was like French champion every single year. She was like killing the game, and she was my age. And it's like so at the time, to give you like references, if you know track, at the time I was running 26 seconds at the 200, and this girl was running 23 and winning every single meet. She was on a French team. I was like, this is impossible. But you know what, I would really love to beat her. And so I was like, I'm going to try my mom's visualization technique, because why not? And I would do that faithfully every night. And the way that I would visualize it was I would see myself I think I was probably like in lane 5, but I would see her to my left. And I knew in my mind that I wouldn't be able to completely beat her, but I could beat her as long as I beat her at the finish line. That is the only thing that counts. So every night, I would just recall that race. I would just make this race up in my head, and like so much so that my heart was beating fast. Like I was in bed, but I was actually living the race. I was running that race right there. And in my visualization, I would just see myself leaning like this. I would just get her at the end. And then after, I would just drift off to sleep. And then I did that for, I don't know, I did a long time actually, until, there's no time period, because then after that summer, there was the French championships, which are, I guess it would be like either the AAU Junior Olympics, or I would actually say more USATF Junior Olympics here in the States. And but it was for France. France is a small country, so it was just the French championships for our age category. And I run against her, and lo and behold, that race, I don't even remember if it was to go to the European Championships or not. Perhaps. No, it wasn't. I don't even remember. It's been years. But I run, and then she's winning. She's in front of me. And before you know it, I remember actually as I was running, I'm just running, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm catching her. And then I lean and I beat her. And it happened exactly like I saw in my mind. She was exactly on the same side of me. It happened in the exact same side, and I won. That year I was French champion. My kids always make fun of me because I always say that I'm French champion, but I did it. And so that was my beginning for the learning about visualization and the power of the mind. And so then after, when my husband and I came to the States because my husband is French, so we came to the States, and we were really, really close to my mom. So we lived very close to her, and that's where she started just telling us about not only the visualization, but we already knew that, but like manifestation. She's always been up on top of everything. And she told us about Dr. Joe Dispenza. And at first I was like, not gonna lie, I'm like, it's kind of cultish. That's what I thought. That's really what I thought. And actually that is kind of like the not the feedback, but that's either you love him or you really dislike him. And I was in the boat of not wanting to like him, but not really. And so yeah, gave it a try. Then after he did this breath, he does this breath that is like this intense breath. And I remember doing it and I was like, oh my gosh, like it seemed like just some weird stuff was happening. Like everything was like in my life was just kind of like falling apart. And so I was like, you know what? I'm so good with the breath. I'm so good with Dr. Joe. Let's cut it. And so after that, I was like, that's fine. So gave Dr. Joe a break because of like, I'm so good with having my life fall to shambles because I'm doing this meditation. I'm following this guy. And then after the whole mess happened in 2020, and the only thing, like, it was so interesting because I was like looking for answers and things were just kept pointing back to him. And I had a lot of resistance to it, honestly. I had so much resistance. But at the point where I was at, I was like, you know what, let me just go ahead and give it a try. And yeah, long story short, not to go back to that because that is past. Not only is it past, but it's not the person and the identity that I am, that I identify with. But those meditations, learning, relearning, I still do not do the breath because I don't like it. But just the meditations have brought me so much peace that I do believe that, one, those meditations were the reason why I healed myself. And two, it's just really, really interesting if you go on a deep dive, if you're really curious about how the brain works, why we act the way that we act, why fear controls us, just the why behind how the human behavior is just so interesting. And it's very interesting because I do not like science at all. Like, don't like science, don't like anything with numbers or biology or talk about like neurology. Please, that is definitely not my forte. However, it's just really, really interesting. And so every now and then I get back into his teachings and everything when kind of like I just need to find my way again. And yeah, I just have been just going deep diving in the courses that I bought from him, his programs, and just basically just free YouTube videos and testimonials. I love to listen to the testimonials of people that have manifested jobs, money, health, relationships. And it just really, to me, what I really love the most about it is it helps remind us that the power that we have, the power to have whatever we want is within us. We actually can create our own existence. We create everything that happens to us. And to maybe not ask the question, why are things happening to us, but why are things happening for us? And I think that's just part of the wisdom that I'm learning from his meditations and just from his teachings. And so now his meditations are long. They are long. That was one of the things that I had super trouble with adapting to, because who has time to meditate for an hour or 30 minutes or whatever? Like, you got to be on a go, 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 right? But that's the interesting part. Life has us going so fast all the time that actually it is good to maybe slow down and to take care of our inner selves and not be busy going from here to here to here doing this. And his meditations teach how to slow down. And so, like, for instance, today I decided to do one of his meditations. It was 37 minutes long. I had no problem. I actually really was looking forward to meditating for so long, and woke up feeling refreshed and inspired. And that's why I wrote my Substack article. And yeah, so is Dr. Joe like cultish, like a cult? I don't know. I mean, you can probably make anything, turn anything, like anything could be an obsession. I don't think of it, what I do with Dr. Joe is not cultish. I just really do a lot of meditation, and I like his meditations and I like his teachings, and I like how he breaks down the mind, the human mind, which is so interesting. And yeah, I mean, I'm just a meditator now. Like I meditate twice a day. Like I do a meditation that's called TM. So TM is Transcendental Meditation. And it's just basically, none of this is based in religion. None of this is based in anything. It's just based in inner peace. And that's what I'm all about. That's why my kids always come, they like to joke and they call me Zen Naja or Zen Mommy. And I really I don't take offense to it. I love it because, oh my gosh, pre all of this, I was like feisty. Like I was very, very feisty. I still like, don't mess with me too much. That feistiness is still in me. But yeah, I'm just very zen and very chill. And I like myself. I like this version of myself. And yeah, so if there's any lesson that I would like for you to take from this is to, if your life is busy, and again, whose life isn't, if you find yourself where it's like, you got to do this, 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 got to do this, maybe look into meditation. A lot of times people say, oh, well, I can't meditate. That is, I believe that's just a story that we tell ourselves. I think that we all can meditate. We just got to, like, even if it's just for 30 seconds at the beginning, and it's a muscle that you develop. And more you meditate, the better you get at it. And it's all about to calm the mind, because when everything is going so fast, we can't function right? You know, we're meant to just be more at peace. And so it's really good to find peace wherever you can find that peace. And meditation is definitely a key. I mean, some people meditate. Meditation is my tool. But if you don't like meditation, you know, going on walks, working out, treating yourself to a spa day, that's always awesome. But yeah, just basically finding ways that you can slow down. And another way that's really good to slow down is to stay off your device. So I know I'm posting this on YouTube, but I have found that sometimes I'm like in such a overstimulation mode of like social media, of like my phone. Like I almost feel like my head is buzzing. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, where it's like I just feel like I'm on social media, or like my device overload. And so just need to connect back to nature. And the way to connect back to nature, like me, I love to walk in my yard with no shoes on. That's another thing. It's just, or go take a walk, hug a tree. I don't know. But I'm finding that the more that life demands us to be plugged in, connected online, the more it's good to return back to basics and to just be and to slow down. And so, yeah, so that was pretty much my experience from today and what I wanted to share with you about the wisdom of just slowing down. Slowing down feels good. But what's so interesting is I think that in general, we know that slowing down feels good, but we always have an excuse like, I would love to slow down, but I have to do this. I have this deadline. I have to go get the kids. I have to do this. But when you think about it, you have 5 minutes to slow down. And if you say you don't, that's not true, because you have 5 minutes to make a priority to go to the bathroom, You make priorities. You have 5 minutes to actually to even scroll on Instagram or TikTok. You make time, even if it's before going to bed. I think the key is to find, to make a list of priorities and to make rest a part of your priority. And then once you decide on making that part of your priority, that's where you'll be able to make space for it. I have been doing TM for since February 2021, twice a day, every single day for 20 minutes, and I have not missed a day. And I remember when I had thought about when I started that, I was like, doing this for 20 minutes is crazy. 20 minutes, not only just once a day, twice a day, is insane. I'm not going to be able to do it. But the thing is, as I was doing it, I felt so many benefits from doing it that I actually didn't want the magic to stop. So people were noticing that I was calmer. I was noticing that I was calmer. And so why would I stop? And not only that, things just start kind of like magically working out for me. That was the biggest thing, where it's like, yeah, I'm feeling calm and that's all great, but you want results. You want to see results from your work. And so I saw that like things just always seem to work out ever since I've been doing TM, and I'm just going to go ahead and continue. I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. Dispenza's meditations, I sprinkle in every now and then, but my core is TM. And I can actually link I'm going to link their website in the description as well. If ever you're curious, you can see if it works for you or not. But yeah, I'm just finding that we are more than just this meat suit that we are in. We're spiritual beings, and we have to tend to that spirit, and that's what life is all about. So yeah, that is all that I'm about today. All that I think I have to say. I don't think I have anything else to say, but for today. But thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. And I'm going to link everything that I talked about in the description of this video. And thank you so much for showing up for me. I really, really appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow. And tomorrow, what I say, today's day 8, so I guess tomorrow will be day 9. And I will see you then. Bye.